Hey guys, my name is Exeter, and today I want to talk about Advanced Warfare. Now, last night, or was it? Yeah, last night, there was a stream that was going on, a live stream on Ustream, and a guy actually was playing Advanced Warfare. Now, what was so cool about the stream is he was going through all the different things. So he was going through Exo Survival, he was going through all the options, all the weapons, and I got to see a lot of content that a lot of people, especially on YouTube, have been talking about, but they've only been seeing it through articles, newspapers. Now, one other person that I know that has actually made a video about this is Nine, and I'm kind of using this about the same intro because I want to have like the same effect. But he is doing the same thing I did, and he's talking about some of like this little thing. So except for him, I don't think any other YouTubers are going to touch on some of the content that I've been talking about. But first, I want to talk about maturity levels when it comes to video games, because video games have been out for a while now, like 20 years, at least on consoles like we are playing on today, and the maturity levels have always been based on the violence in games. Because I have in front of me an open screen with all maturity levels, and it goes from early childhood, EC, all the way to RP, rating pending. Now, EC, content is intended for young children, it starts based on age. So, like, EC, early childhood, so, like, it's so dumb you don't even want to play it. E is for everyone. That's for like Disney games and stuff like that. E10 plus, there may contain some type of like fantasy violence or like cartoonish violence. Then teenagers, there's like violence, but it's not that gory. Like a small amount of blood, stuff like that. May contain suggested humor or crude humor, or like suggested blah blah blah. Like suggestive stuff. Like you don't see anything, but it might be happening. Mature is 17 up and may contain intense violence, blood and gore, and then sexual content or strong language. Now, adults only is content suitable for adults 18 up, may include prolonged scenes of intense violence, graphic sexual content, and or gambling with real currency. Now, that is a big gap because they go from just rating it based on your age to actually looking at the amount of violence. But in my personal opinion, adults only and mature, there is no real difference between the two, and you could see it. Mature is 17 and adults only is 18, so there's only a 1 year difference, not much time. And nowadays with the learning curve, and when I say learning curve, I mean like kids are getting more aware because the internet and how social media is really affecting people, and the way movies are, the way movies are nowadays, where it's really only nudity really bases how mature a movie is. That's why PG-13 can be like a really gory movie. Like let's say Batman Dark Knight, for example. That wasn't a really gory movie, but there was some pretty dark stuff in there. And if you take a movie like that, the only difference between that and maybe a rated R movie is that there were no breasts being shown or something like that. No like body parts being shown. And that's really the only difference in movies. So now, in movies, you can see all this violence when you're 13, but then when you're a teenager and you're getting a game, like 13 and older, and you're getting a game, you can see all this violence. But when in the game, you're not allowed to get a game like Call of Duty. And we all know that Call of Duty has a lot of young kids in it. Like, especially in Black Ops 2, everyone jokes about it. There's a lot of young kids in the game. And the reason for that is because the parents can buy it and then just let their kids have it. That's what the mature label is for. But what they should end up doing is either making it so people can get it at a teenage age, because that's when people are playing it anyway, or they should actually put things like gore in the game to make it so it is mature, and they can keep it so it is mature. So adults feel a little bit less compelled to have their children play this at such a young age, because the gap is changing. So either they want to shift it down, they want to shift down the age for Call of Duty and games like it, or what they should do is they should just shift it up by amping up the violence and making it more gory. And I know a lot of people in the community want to see more gore. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, because there's an option in Advanced Warfare to actually make it so instead of bullets and blood, it's paintball. You can play paintball in Advanced Warfare. Now, how do you do that? Is you just go into an option and you turn on the paintball visuals. And what this ends up doing is all the blood on the walls and all the blood splatters becomes yellow paint, like from paintballs. And you're shooting paintballs, yada, yada, yada. You guys get it. So it's like you're playing paintball unless Call of Duty. And this is really a way to kind of to either make it fun if you're already an adult and you just want to see what it looks like and like have some fun messing around with it, or if you're like letting your younger child play this game, it's less violent because you're not seeing all this blood, which is really the only difference between mature and teen. Because there's like mild violence, but if you like make it into paintball and not so much people shooting each other with real guns, then it's going to be suitable for teenagers. So I think this is a way of kind of making it so it's suitable for all ages. Now this is just a simple fix though, because all they have to do is just change the certain graphics. So they have to change the blood graphics to, paint graphics, and then make like the paint bullets into paintballs, and that's pretty simple. Like the guns stay the same, everything stays the same except for that. So, I think this is a very simple thing that they did just for the fun factor, but in future games I think this could actually fit pretty well. And then they could reverse that and actually add more gore. Now that would be a little bit harder because everyone like talks about World at War, and how like if you had a shotgun or a really powerful weapon, you could like shoot off people's limbs and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people want to see that back. Now if you're able to just turn that on or off, that would be pretty interesting, because what's so special about the paintball mode is if you turn it on, you're the only person that could see it. It's not like the whole lobby can see it. Because when I was watching this guy do it originally, I was like, wait, so he can actually like affect what everyone else sees? No, it's just what he sees. So it's his own graphical, analysis of the game. He's changing the way he sees it, but other people don't have to. So instead of making the whole game mature or teen or just for teens or like, mature, instead of having to have everyone be like affected, you could do it for individual people. So based on someone's age, you could sell the game with a different preference. And that's really the first thing I want to talk about. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about were the streaks, because we got all this leaked info and we saw the streaks, and I actually got to see a lot of them in action, and it seems like they're actually pretty balanced. Like, none of them are really bad if you use them properly. If you know how to use the streaks, you can use them well and effective. And yeah, and going into that, there is a 30 kill streak, or really, there's a special streak. There's a hidden streak called the DNA bomb. A lot of people have been talking about it. It is a 30 gun kill streak. Gun kill streak, you cannot use actual kill streaks. You have to use your weapon. So in free-for-all, you have to get flawless to do it. I didn't see that Hardline affected it. I didn't think Hardline affected it from what I saw. I could be wrong about that, but when the guy was playing, I didn't see that Hardline affected it, so it is going to be constantly or consistently 30 kills, and that's another thing that is kind of sad, because like no one's really going to be able to get in free-for-all. I mean, some people are going to go for 33 for all flawlesses, and they might get it, but, that's going to kind of be like, in free-for-all, does it count if you get it, but don't call it in because the game's over? I don't know. So I'm going to be interested to see how that works. Now, with the actual Exo Survival mode, this is the last thing I want to talk about. What's pretty cool about it is I was watching the guy play, and the Exo bonus round has to be unlocked. Now, of course it has to be unlocked. It's the last round, It's the special round once you beat the whole thing. And it's the last one you have to do to beat the game with the zombies and everything. Well, actually, you have to unlock Riot. So Riot is like the last map you have to unlock, and to do that you have to unlock 100 waves on the other maps. So to get Riot, it's actually a big trek. It's a long trek to get there. You have to work hard and you have to be determined. So I think that's kind of like the longevity factor. So people who actually want to get to the zombies, those people that got the game because they want to play zombies, they want to play that bonus round, they're going to have to work for it. And once you finish that, I guess that's the end of Exo Survival. Now, I know 9 was at least talking about how there's going to be an extra wave or game mode, or like 4th game mode after that could be bounced on or added on. So once someone like beats the bonus wave. But I think that's just asking a little bit much. I mean, maybe what will end up happening is if you do beat the bonus wave, they can add on later. Or maybe when the game comes out or is released, they'll add on actually an extra map after that. So after Riot, there'll be an extra map that no one knows about because it's hidden in there, and no one's really looked at the game code yet that has the game. They've just played it. So if you beat the bonus game mode or bonus round on Riot, you might actually be able to play on an extra map with zombies only, and that would be really cool. And I think the zombie community would really appreciate that they're adding it into the game and not making a major thing. So it doesn't have to be a 4th game mode, but it would just be cool to see like an extra map add in Exo Survival. So when you beat the whole thing, then you would be able to choose which one you want to do, and zombies would be an option. So I hope you guys liked the commentary. If so, hit that like button down below and subscribe for more content. My name, of course, is Exeter. This was, of course, Call of Duty Ghost gameplay in the background, if you could not tell. I had some fun. I was going for KEMs a little bit earlier, I'm not good at getting them, man. I always die like one or two off, or like I just die off my streak. Silly things like that. But sometimes, you just have to make with what you got. So, here you go. Thank you for watching. Peace out and goodbye.